My first time back in the Philippines is an absolute disaster, like a public servant or something. He helped me out and he actually called my host for me. Can't connect to the Wi-Fi because all the public Wi-Fi, they want you to verify your mobile number. And then I just like look out the windows and there's like lightning and thunder striking out each window. It's not as easy as traveling to Thailand, Vietnam, and maybe Malaysia and some other countries in Southeast Asia. And then like the second day in or something, I broke my foot. How's it going? A day that started rough in Manila in the Philippines is ending pretty smoothly. Welcome to the Philippines. If you guys don't know, I have been to the Philippines one time before, about 5 years ago, and I made one video. That was actually my first travel video I ever made. And now I'm back here to create travel content, finally. My first time back in the Philippines is an absolute disaster. Let me tell you why. Well, first things first, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's extremely windy here in Manila in the Philippines, and I think that's an effect of the typhoon that just passed by, Typhoon Mawar. And I think it's just producing strong winds here because, as I said, this is already turning into a disaster. And I arrived here to Manila at 5 a.m. this morning from Malaysia. I had a flight at 2 a.m. from Malaysia to here, landed at 5 a.m., basically had no sleep, and when I got to the apartment, I checked in at about 7 o'clock in the morning because I paid the night before, which also was a disaster trying to get into this Airbnb, and I freaking fell right to sleep, woke up at about 12:30, and then came out because I needed to try to get a SIM card, and now I've had like the worst experience trying to get a SIM card. Never ever in my life have I had such difficulty getting a SIM card, and never in my life have I had such difficulty connecting to Wi-Fi in a public place. So I quickly want to say that this video, this negative side that's happening right now, it definitely is not going to represent the trip here in the Philippines. This is just a small hiccup, I think, that I have to overcome during this, first initial start or initial launch of being here in Manila. And I just came to this coffee place because it was the only place I could get some Wi-Fi. The lady actually said, in order to use the Wi-Fi, you have to be a member, so you have to sign up for their membership, which just sounds crazy at a cafe, right? And I also went to Starbucks and I went to Tim Hortons. Both of them, I couldn't access Wi-Fi. Tim Hortons, the Canadian coffee chain, you actually can't even use Wi-Fi. There's just no Wi-Fi. Even though it says there is, it says it's open, it says it's free, they tell me no, it doesn't work. So I went to the Starbucks and the lady said, oh, I'm sorry, but the only way to use the Wi-Fi is to have a local number here, a Filipino number, because you need to get a code to verify your connectivity to the Wi-Fi, which is the same process to connect to the Wi-Fi here in the mall. I am at an outdoor, it's like indoor-outdoor mall called Ayala, and there you need to do the same thing. You need to have a local number, so that way when you try to connect to the Wi-Fi, they send you a code to validate that like you're legal or something. I don't know what it is, but it's such a headache. The only place I had Wi-Fi so far is in the airport, where it was completely free. There was no hassle, no extra step. But after that, just a nightmare. It's been a nightmare. It's just a nightmare because I'm trying to get a SIM card, and I was going to get it at the airport, but the fees or the price for it just seemed insane. It was 1,500 peso for a SIM card, which is like $20 for a SIM card. There's no way in how a SIM card here in Manila costs $20. No way. I mean, I've been to many countries here in Southeast Asia, and they're never really more than $10. And $20 has seemed just insane. So I went here to try to get a SIM card at the local place. A guy sent me to this girl that was selling all these phone accessories. She has SIM cards, and she was gonna do it for me. And it was like a 3-day SIM card for like, I think 20 gigabytes of data, right? And then after the 3 days, you just top up for a week or a month or however long it is that you need, right? And this SIM card was gonna cost 200 pesos, which is roughly, I think, like, I don't know, $3, $4 or something, which is much more affordable than that one in the airport. But when she was trying to register my passport into this system, it wasn't recognizing my passport. It was actually saying that the photo is too blurry, the passport is blurry. I don't know, I think the system was just having some error or some malfunction, and so she was getting really frustrated. She tried for like 30 minutes, and it was just painfully to watch this process not be able to work. And then I basically said to her, it's okay, I'll just try to go to the communication center, like the actual store, and have them do it. And you could tell she was super disappointed. She was just like, because she had to open this SIM card, she had to try to verify. I don't know if she can use it anymore, but it was just a headache. And now I've been, like I said, walking around this mall trying to connect to Wi-Fi just to see where I can get a SIM card and see where it is, because I know there's a place maybe like a 30-minute walk from here, but I don't want to walk there. I was going to take a Grab or a taxi or something, right? And so with Wi-Fi, I could just order it and go because I have cash, but can't connect to the Wi-Fi because all the public Wi-Fi, they want you to verify your mobile number, which is just the stupidest thing ever. So today was supposed to be like just an easy first day here in the Philippines. I wasn't even gonna film anything. I was just gonna just relax, you know, and it turns into this nightmare because also, like I said, my Airbnb, it's not the best of Airbnb, I don't think, and maybe they're charging more than what they should be, right? But I have a private Airbnb, my own bathroom, it's like a studio, and it's gonna work for the time that I'm being here, right? The Wi-Fi is okay, but the problems that I encountered is I made a mutual agreement with my host that I would book the night before, but not be there that night, but be there the next morning as my flight arrived very early in the morning. And he was supposed to send somebody to meet me at the gate, right? Well, where this place is, there's a gate that you open the door, and when you open it, there's like a small room there, and that's where the lady lives or works, and she's supposed to accept me. Well, he never told me I needed to open the gate. This is a private entrance into a building, right? And so this gate was completely closed, and I couldn't tell if it was locked or not. I didn't try to open it because you never know what can happen, right? And I didn't have service, but I told him, I said, I will be at the place at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever time it was, right? And that the lady should look for me. And that's what we agreed on, right? Well, I get there, wait for like 20, 30 minutes, nobody ever comes out, right? I can hear people, but nobody ever comes out. And basically, I just went down the street. I was going to go to 7-Eleven and try to get a SIM card at like 5 this morning. And this local guy, I don't know who he is, like a public servant or something, he helped me out, and he actually called my host for me, and then he walked with me back to the apartment, which was really cool, really friendly guy. And then I walked back into this to the apartment, right? And the host is talking to me, and he's like, oh, just push the green gate open. Just open, and then once you go through the gate, the lady will come out and help you. I said, are you serious? I could have done that the whole time. I said, why didn't you tell me that, right? So he told me just to be there and that somebody will be looking for me. He didn't tell me that I need to go there, go through the gate, and then look for the lady, right? Like, bad communication on this guy's part. And then I get into the Airbnb. I'm so freaking tired. Haven't slept at all. The towels are the most disgusting thing I've ever seen ever. It looks like they just cleaned up like dog shit pretty much, right? And then like put it onto a fire and like burned parts of it. Like, they're really bad. And this Airbnb is super, super basic. The Wi-Fi was super, super shitty, like 1 Mbps pretty much maximum. And I couldn't figure out why, and it's because there's 3 different Wi-Fis, so I had to find the other Wi-Fi, and I had to get the password for it, and then I connected to it, and it's much better, and I'll be able to like work from it and actually edit and upload a video. But the communication of this host is pretty bad. I'm pretty sure that he's a Korean guy because he told me to contact him not on WhatsApp, not on Airbnb, but to only contact him on Telegram, Viber, and some other like third part or some other applications that I don't even use. So I contacted him. He never replied. So I contacted Airbnb this morning. I was like, I don't know what to do. This accommodation is really like not what it's supposed to be. The host is not being very responsive. The towels are all messed up. I can't connect to good Wi-Fi. I won't be able to work. Da 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 da. And then the Airbnb support was contacting him. I never even heard from him yet, and it's already been like 12 hours. So communication is so bad. Part of me wants to just like try to cancel this reservation and go to a new one, but part of me just wants to be like, dude, Give me new towels because I'm not using these because they're so disgusting. I'm gonna stay here. When my time is up, I'm leaving, and that's it. And I'm definitely not satisfied with the experience so far. So far, there's been some hiccups so far, and it's only been a short time. So despite such a crappy situation, I am glad that I found this place here, the Coffee Bean. I'm inside now. I actually came in, even though it's very windy out, I came inside because the connection's a little bit stronger inside. I was further away outside, but the people that work here, they're very, very friendly, which is nice. As I was saying, she gave me the Wi-Fi. She was very generous, which is nice. So I'm able to connect to Wi-Fi. Instead of just pounding this coffee and going to the place to get a SIM card, I'm gonna chill out, just try to relax, de-stress, and do some editing. And I'm also ordering some food here. Paying more than I wanted to pay maybe for coffee and what I want to eat right now. I was hoping to have something a little more local today, but I guess we'll dive into Manila going forward in the next couple days or so. But yeah, despite all this happening, I think I'm just going to try to go to a 7-Eleven after and try to see if I can get a SIM card there because I believe they can do it. Hopefully it'll work. I have no idea. The good news is I know when I get back to my Airbnb I have Wi-Fi, so that's okay. But I just hate going on the city without Wi-Fi, especially using maps, especially using some applications. I know you can use maps offline, I do it, but it's just not the same experience. It's just good to have connectivity. I don't care if I don't have social media. To me, the most important when traveling is just to have access to the internet, right? So you can Google something that you need very quickly. Maybe it's converting some money or looking up some important tip or fact that you need to know, right? Having access to maps and your transportation, so Grab, Uber, them type of things. And so now that I've ordered this coffee, I have Wi-Fi, I can chill out here and just take it easy because I'm so behind on sleep. I feel very, very deprived. I haven't even eaten anything today and it's almost 4 o'clock now. So I'm going to eat for the first time, and then after I'm going to go back and probably just sleep because my energy levels are just crazy. They're all over the place, up, down, and yeah, not such a good situation, not such a good first time here back to the Philippines. And I want to explain more about my return to the Philippines because I have been here, but the first time was an absolute disaster also, but also a really good experience that I had as one of my first travel experiences ever. I quickly want to say that places like the airport, places like malls that offer free Wi-Fi but make you go through all these extra complicated steps to sign up, such as having a phone number and getting a code by text message and verifying it, is the stupidest thing ever. And stupidest is probably not even a word, but it is the stupidest because that's just it's just unnecessary, and it just makes the situation more stressful for people, right? If anything, just ask them to put in some details like passport number, your name, maybe where you're staying. No need for a freaking phone number. That is just nonsense. Especially there's a lot of people that travel to other countries and don't get another phone number, or they don't use an international plan. They just go and they relax. So I just wanted to add that. Very, very stupid. But now I'm going to sit here, I'm going to edit. I got to get back to the editing grind because a lot of these Malaysian videos I have are backlogs, and they're still going to be coming out while my time here in the Philippines. So the Philippines series that you're watching now is going to be quite some time after I visit the Philippines. So let's get to work. Alright guys, what a stain picking process. Stain picking. Alright guys, what a painstaking process. It's actually now 6:30 in the evening. It's been a while. I've been at this mall for like 7 hours, I think, or something like that. Finally got a SIM card, finally got it registered, and I did it all by myself because there was no other option. Basically what I did, to summarize, is, so basically what I did was I went to the H&M here and they have Wi-Fi. Crazy, right? The cafes here, they don't have free Wi-Fi, but H&M has free Wi-Fi. You can go there and steal the Wi-Fi from the mall here. It's called Ayala, I think. But I went there, I got Wi-Fi, and what I basically did was I bought a SIM card from 7-Eleven for 40 pesos, super cheap, and then I activated it myself, putting in all this information like passport, address, and all of that. You can use all the information from your booking and stuff, and they may ask you for like a local ID. Just put in your passport number and it works. And then I got some gigabytes, some data for the first 3 days. So basically what I can do now is I can leave, I can order a grab car, Uber, whatever, no problem now. And now tomorrow I'll just go to the location and I'll actually get the data and the plan that I need for the whole time that I'm here. That way I can just do it once and I have to do it again and reload it and stuff like that. So finally it worked. And because it worked, it's time to get a beer. Let's go try this beer place here. So this part of the mall that I'm walking through now, the outdoor section where there's water and plants, and I was just sitting over here at the Coffee Bean restaurant. This is the exact place I walked down 5 years ago, which is crazy, and I remember it. But like I said a little while ago, I want to tell you more about my experience coming here to the Philippines. I just tripped myself on that stone. But yeah, I want to tell you more about the experience coming here because it wasn't so easy. It's not as easy as traveling to Thailand, Vietnam, and maybe Malaysia and some other countries in Southeast Asia. It seems like the government is very strict and they're doing things like to the T, right? So we'll go in here, we'll get a beer, we'll sit down, and I'll tell you about it. Hello. Alright, well, just sat down at this craft brew place here in the mall called Tap Station, and they just gave me a nice frosty cold beer here at the local India Pale Ale. The price for it is something like, I think, 265 pesos, but because it's happy hour, there's a discount, so she said it's something like 190 pesos, which is a very good deal, I think, and a good way to cheer up this day, so let's try it out. Cheers, guys. Very good. Wow. Now, as I was saying, I was here in this mall 5 years ago. I don't remember if this beer place was here. I don't even remember half of this stuff, to be honest. I could have swore when I walked through here last time, 5 years ago, it was a little bit new maybe, but maybe I'm mistaken. I really don't remember. The last time I was here was a complete blur because of what's happened, and I'll tell you more about it. I had a really bad experience that was on my part, something that I did, and I also had a good experience because I met a lot of local people and had a very hospitable time here, I could say. Gala Mall, and seems like a great place to hang out. But let's talk about how this all started, how this travel began. Okay, so the travel began on Wednesday morning. So basically, it was very early in the morning. My flight was scheduled at 2:50 a.m., but it got changed to 2:10 a.m. and 2:10 a.m. from Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia, to Manila, Philippines, landing in Manila around 5:10 in the morning, something like that. Well, I got to the airport plenty of time early, like I normally do, to make sure I'm well prepared, right? And good thing I did, because when I got to the airport, I checked in my baggage very quickly, got the luggage tag, sent it through, and then I was going to security. And normally, sometimes when you go to security, there's somebody checking your boarding pass, just making sure you have all the correct documents before you go, because it's a painful process to go through, come back through, and then try to do it again if you need to, right? So the lady was like, okay, do you have your boarding pass? I said, yes, showed her. And then she said, oh, do you have the health check? And I was like, health check? What? What are you talking about? And then there was like some QR code that you have to have, I guess, to go to the Philippines. And apparently the Philippines government is very strict about the rules of entering, which I understand. It's their country, they can do what they want, but basically they give you like this little QR code thing here that you just fill out online. It's like a 5 or 6 page thing that you just fill out information. It takes probably 10 minutes. It's very easy to do, but it's annoying if you have to do it last minute like I did. So I had to do it at the airport, right? I filled it out. I showed the lady the QR code with my boarding pass, and then she said, oh, also the Philippines is requiring onward travel or return tickets. You can't go there with a one-way ticket. And I was like, are you serious? What? In the last 2 years of traveling, I have not bought a return ticket or a one-way ticket unless I really was already planning on going back or going to somewhere new. Usually I go one way because I book 2 weeks, I book a month, and I think, okay, maybe I'll stay an extra week, maybe I'll leave at that point. So basically, she was like, yeah, I can't let you pass security unless you have your onward or return ticket. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Wow, okay, that's stupid. So I already had an idea of where to go next, and the truth is, next I will probably be going back to the US or a territory of the US. So for you guys that have been watching the channel for a while, I usually travel with my girlfriend. She's not here right now because she said, oh, I don't want to travel with you anymore. No, I'm just kidding, but she went back home to take care of some family business and stuff like that, and I decided to travel on my own. And since I decided to travel on my own, I've been kind of having to go with the flow more often and book things on my own and just think like, okay, how am I going to do this? And normally it's a collective decision, which makes it sometimes a little bit easier, but it's been solely my decision to decide what I'm going to do. And truth be told, I decided to go to Malaysia again because it was a great adventure the first time, and I really loved the food, the culture, the people were very amazing. And then I said, okay, after there, maybe I can go somewhere like Indonesia, maybe the Philippines. I also contemplated staying in Malaysia for 3 months because you can, but I've stayed in Thailand for 6 months a lot of times, so I wanted to kind of move a little bit more to see other places. And then I said, okay, I'll just go to the Philippines after. And then I was planning like maybe I'll stay in the Philippines 2 weeks, maybe 1 month on a one-way ticket, right? Until the lady said, no, you need a return ticket. And so I basically said, well, I booked accommodation here for 2 weeks, so I guess I have to buy my return ticket that day of when my accommodation runs out or sometime that week, right? So long story short, what I did is I booked my accommodation here in Manila through Airbnb for 2 weeks. And then I just bought a flight at the airport right then and there, leaving here after my accommodation ends. Like just a couple days, so I'll have to get a new accommodation, but it's okay because I found a very good flight. And so I'll probably go back to the US to visit and things like that. But the problem was, or what I could have done is I could have booked like a rental ticket. You can do that. You can pay like $15 or $20 to buy a flight ticket, and then you just say that you're going to this destination, right? And it's a legit ticket, but then it just cancels in 24 hours and you don't really have to have a return ticket. But I decided to book a trip to the United States because why not? I've been away for 7 months or something, so why not have a quick trip there and then go on from there? So what I did is I booked my flight to the United States, but I booked it to an island, a territory of the United States, and when I showed the people, they were like, where's that? What is this place? Like, they didn't even know of it. So I will leave the Philippines after, and then I'll probably just go to the territory and visit some family of my girlfriends and her, and so on, and then hopefully make another travel adventure right after then sometime, I don't know, to another country in Asia or something. Alright, well, the situation at the airport got squared away. I went through security, got to the gate, all was fine, right? Except my flight was at 2 in the morning, so I was completely tired, and sleeping in the airport is almost impossible for me. Sleeping on the airplane is also impossible unless you're in business class or something. So basically, got on the flight, all was good. We took off, we started flying, and then I noticed the flight attendants were being weird. They were like, kept having these like huddles, and there was one other guy that wasn't even a flight attendant on there, but he had like AirAsia staff tag and stuff. I don't know what he was doing. I think he might have been in the back of the plane or below the plane, but something happened, and they were being very very quiet about it, and I don't know what happened, but it was really, really sketchy because I was like paying attention, and I'm just a very alert person that's always paying attention on the airplane to make sure everything's going good. Not that I can stop anything that goes wrong, but I like to be aware of my surroundings because you never know what crazy person is on an airplane, right? But yeah, anyways, they were just being strange, and I was like, okay, this feels weird right now. I hope nothing's bad happening. I hope nothing bad is happening, right? And so they started serving the meals, the pre-ordered meals that people buy, and snacks for people that wanted it. And I just chilled out, played a game, listened to a podcast and stuff like that. And then I heard the captain come over the radio. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. What is he going to say? And he's like, okay, I just want to make an announcement to say we're projected to land in Manila at this time, blah, blah, blah. The weather is like this. And we're expecting very, very strong turbulence, so please keep your seatbelts fastened at all times. And I've been through turbulence, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever. And then later on, a little bit in the flight, another announcement came up, and he's like, yes, about 10-15 minutes, we're going through this. Oh no, he said, okay, we're approaching a storm. We're going through a storm right now, and it should take us about 10 to 15 minutes to pass through it. And then I just like look out the windows, and there's like lightning and thunder striking out each window, and it was really, really scary because I've heard horror stories about planes flying through storms. They're not supposed to, and they try to avoid them at all caution and at all chances that they can, but sometimes they're unavoidable, right? And so yeah, the lightning's going off, there's a bit of turbulence, but the turbulence wasn't too terrible. The turbulence actually going from Kuala Lumpur to Borneo was much worse than going to Manila. But still, I hate turbulence. Nobody likes it. It's scary. It's terrifying, especially when you're traveling alone and you're in a row full of people you don't even know or that possibly don't even speak the same language as you, right? And so basically the turbulence was happening, and then eventually we landed in Manila safely, and it was great, and I was like, whew. But it was one of the most nerve-wracking flights I've ever had, just because I felt like my anxiety was on the highest level, being alert of what was happening with the staff and the things that were going on. Oh, and one other thing to note, the flight attendant made an announcement. It was like, oh, we have to disinfect the plane at the same time or something. And she just started spraying all this like aerosol all over the place, like all over the luggage compartments. Don't know why. I don't know what that was about, but it stunk. And then that was it. That was like the last thing that really happened, and then we eventually landed in Manila, which was good. But there was a lot of cloud cover coming into Manila, so it was a little bit choppy coming in. But once we touched down, my heart was like at ease, because it was a very anxiety-filled flight, and I just could not sleep for the 2 hours. So by the time we landed in Manila, it was 5 o'clock in the morning. I hadn't slept at all. It was a disaster, and I needed to get to my Airbnb, where the disaster just started getting worse. I got to the airport at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Had to wait for my baggage to come out. Baggage took like 30 minutes. Don't know what was happening. That's why, for some reason, I feel like something happened on the plane, right? I don't know. Maybe somebody in the back of the plane, and they had to put him under the plane or something. I don't know. Because things like that do happen. And then when things like that happen, they need to solve the issue, and they need to actually remove the person away from everybody else, because it will freak people out. I don't know, but I think most people would notice if that happened. So something happened, which was weird, because baggage took way too long to come out. It never takes that long, and the airport wasn't even busy at all. I mean, there was only like one other flight at baggage claim. So baggage claim finally came 30 minutes later. I left the airport, or not left the airport, left the baggage claim and went to the part where, there's taxis and shuttles and exchange and stuff like that. And I was thinking about getting a SIM card there, because it would have made life easier, right? But they were charging $1,500 for a SIM card. That was like the starting price. 1,500 pesos. It's expensive, I think, $20 or something. So I opted not for it. Wi-Fi reached to the end of the gate there, or the end of the doors, and I just ordered a grab car. I paid cash because it wouldn't accept any of my cards either, which is strange. I don't know what's wrong with the application, but wouldn't accept MasterCard, Visa, or anything. PayPal. Grab car came. Guy was friendly. He asked me if we wanted to take the highway where it's faster. I said, sure, why not? We'll pay the extra 35 pesos, 60 cents or something. And we got to my hotel, or my Airbnb, this morning at, what time was it? Like maybe almost 6:30, I think. No, sorry. It was like 5:30. We got the Airbnb around like 5:30 in the morning. And so that problem now is fixed, and I haven't been back to the apartment. And now I'm enjoying this beer, capping my first 12 hours here in the Philippines, in Manila, after 5 years. because I was here 5 years ago, which I'd also like to tell you about more after I finish this beer. So cheers again, and I'm gonna enjoy this. And sorry that this video is long, but I did not expect to make it, so this is just a, I don't know. We'll see what happens with this video. Alright guys, I just finished up at that bar there, the tap station. Very, very good beer and very, very friendly bartenders there. Had a good conversation with them and got to know a few places maybe to visit here in Manila during my time, but it was nice to just cool down, distress from the situation today, feel much more relaxed. And now there's this little night market right outside of the mall here, Fleet Street. I see some sign, maybe that's the name of it, I'm not sure, but see what they're selling, maybe try some local food. Definitely a little bit hungry, so let's see what they got. What's this?
Dynamite.
Dynamite. So it's spicy.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a pepper.
No, sir.
Or vegetable.
Sorry?
Vegetable. The green thing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
It's spicy.
Yeah.
Very, very.
Slightly.
Slightly. Okay. How much?
100 pesos.
100 pesos. Okay. I'll try it. Yeah. You cook it or something? Okay. You put it in there. Okay. What is it?
Chicken. I work in
Chicken.
pork.
Where? Which part of the body?
Pork in this thing.
Intestine.
Yeah. Inside.
Okay. No, just that.
Yes, sir.
For now. Yeah.
100 pesos.
Okay. I can pay cash.
Thank you for dining or for takeout.
Right here.
You sit first, sir. I will serve you into your table.
Okay, you bring it to me?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just got to this night market and the people are like clearing out of their tables like it's raining or something. I feel no rain right here. Maybe it's just part of the market, it's starting to rain, but people are like freaking out. I guess we'll find out. I don't know, I'm very confused. One guy has an umbrella like it's raining, but I feel nothing. But it is extremely windy. Like super, super windy. And like I was saying earlier in this video, it could be an effect from the Typhoon Mawar, which has also been named Typhoon Betty now as it entered the Philippine Sea. So, not really sure. Okay. Thank you. This is spicy?
No.
No. Okay, thank you. I just ordered this dish from this local girl that's working at the market. She didn't speak much English, but I don't know. I thought it was something spicy. It is insanely windy. I cannot even like hold my food. I've already had napkins blow all over the place. A lot of people are like screaming because I think of how windy it is. But this thing, which is some sauce that I got with it, it also blew over already. Typhoon aftermath. Also, I want to say, I don't know if you can hear, but there's a live performance happening here. People are singing and they're speaking English, so very interesting place. But there's all sorts of food. There's all parts of the body here for sale from the animal. But whatever I got, I have no idea what it is. We're gonna find out. It's very hot. Let's dig into it. Dip it into some of the sauce. Oh, wow. It's 100% pepper. It's not that hot though, but it's stuffed with like meat and cheese, I think. But it's interesting because this part right here, it reminds me of, what is it called? Tocilog or something. It's like a rolled up Mexican frozen food that you can buy in the US and have as a snack. But they stuffed it with some meat and cheese. This pepper is actually a little bit spicy. It's got a bite to it, biting my tongue. But it's super, super tasty. And it was raw. She put it on the grill, she cooked it up, and then she gave it to me. She was also trying to ask me if I wanted to eat something else, like a chicken intestine or something. Maybe not just yet. Maybe it's not cheese inside. I don't know what it is. Kind of tastes like some sort of cheese. Everyone's drinking beer too. I feel like I should order another beer, but I already had two. I don't know. These are the neighbors. I already noticed from last time I was here, I remember, and even now, there's lots of stray street cats here. Many of them. Some look in good condition, some look a little unhealthy. But I don't know what this dipping sauce is. Thousand Island, maybe? I asked her if this was spicy. She said no. So I think it's some sort of mayo mixed with something else, but it's definitely like a neutralizer to the pepper, which is good because the pepper's got a good spicy kick to it. It only lingers for like 30 seconds, but it's not one of those ones that are there for like 5 minutes. It's like all these people who dressed up like Spider-Man. Spider-Man crew. This dish here, whatever these are, these pepper roll-up things, I got 5 of them, 100 pesos for the total. So it's like 20 pesos each. Very, very affordable. See guys, look at that. It is a cat hangout here. There's 3 of them now. They're actually pretty cute. It is insanely freaking windy. I keep losing stuff. This is what I have left. One roll because I was holding the stem and it like ripped right out of my hand from the wind. And like the mayo sauce or whatever it is trying to roll away. This has to be Typhoon effect. That's all I can think of. I should go ask them, but I don't know if they'll understand. You know, I was wondering why did she give me like 10 napkins? That was why, because the first 9 were gonna blow away, right? And I have one left, so that would be the reason. But it's really funny because as my stuff was blowing away, she saw it and she kept staring right at me and laughing, and I was just laughing back at her. Also, I don't think there's any other foreigners here. I don't see any really. Maybe there's some at the other end. I can't really tell from this distance, but everyone's looking at me because I have a camera. Alright, last bite before it blows away. So I just had 2 craft beers, right? Which were actually from a local brewery here in the Philippines. But this here is San Miguel Light. This is a really, really famous beer in the Philippines, and it's basically like a Corona Light, but Filipino. So 70 pesos for this. Cheers, guys. Wow, pretty good. It's like a Corona, but I just went and ordered it from the music tent over there, and it's so loud. Way too loud to be over there. Well, a day that started rough in Manila, in the Philippines, is ending pretty smoothly. That's good. Oh, there goes my bottle cap. It is insanely windy. I can't like repeat how windy it is. Like maybe if I take off my hat, you can see. Like there's no fan, there's nothing over here. That's just pure wind. Wow, that has to be from Typhoon Betty. Holy crap. It feels good though, I will say that. It's really refreshing because I was just sweating inside that mall as there was no breeze, but wow. I don't know, maybe the Typhoon is making a turnaround. Alright, well I'm going to cap the night off with one more dish. I just ordered it. It's called Tocilog. Not sure what it is. I have a feeling it has something to do with pork because I know the Philippines has a lot of similarity with Spain and Spanish since it was colonized by Spain, but tocino in Spanish would be bacon or pork, so it's going to be some sort of pork dish, I believe. But I just ordered it, just have to wait and fight this wind. It's really trying to knock over my beer. I gotta hold it the whole time. The camera's blowing, you can probably see it wiggling. That's the wind blowing my camera. Well, I can say the good news is that it is only a Wednesday night. I said earlier it's Thursday, but it's Wednesday. I was so screwed up with the lack of sleep that I couldn't figure out my day right, but it's only Wednesday, and the market is hopping. There's a lot of people here, a lot of people are out. Obviously a lot of locals. I don't really see many foreigners. I think there was 2 of them, or maybe 1 of them that I just saw. place is pretty going on a Wednesday night, which is pretty nice. Hello. How's it going? Hello. Oh, he's got a Ronaldo shirt on when he played for Juventus. Well, yeah, so far though the people are incredibly friendly, incredibly smiley, which is nice. And I've always known that about the Philippines, especially since the last time I came here. But it's really nice how not just the Philippines, not just Malaysia, not just Thailand or Vietnam, but the whole Southeast Asian continent, or I guess we could say the whole like area, is just super friendly, super hospitable. All the people are great. That's why everyone loves Southeast Asia. The food has arrived. They paid 115 pesos for it. It's pretty small, but it looks pretty delicious. No idea really what it is, but I will show you here. Alright, I can't show you for too long. It's already trying to blow away. This wind is this wind is crazy. Holy crap. I'm actually afraid the camera is gonna blow away. Hello.
Hi, ma'am.
Ah, man. This is impossible. This is impossible with one hand. Meanwhile, I'm over here watching my backpack, and it's got my laptop and electronics in it. Trying to prevent the wind from blowing everything away. Alright. No idea what I got here. I got rice, I got egg, I got some meat. Some very, very red meat. No idea. Wow. If I'm not mistaken, it's like thinly sliced pork, but maybe it's dyed red. No idea why it's so red like that. That's not so normal, I feel like. But it is very, very tasty. With some rice. It's difficult to do. This wind is absolutely nuts. My God. There is no way it is this windy every day. Because it's like 5-10 minutes, it's super windy, and then it stops, nothing. And then windy, and then nothing. And that's like bands of wind like you would see in like a typhoon or a hurricane. Really, really insane. And I have said that for like, what, 10 times already. Oh, it's very delicious. I think the egg is cooked in garlic. It's got a very, very strong garlic taste to it. And it is over medium, so the egg is quite runny actually, which is the best way to have eggs, is over medium or over easy. Wow. Alright, well, 115 pesos, not so bad. A good way to cap off the night. I'm gonna finish this meal before it blows away, and then maybe do something else, maybe not. We'll see what happens. Alright guys, that was a phenomenal experience there at the night market, the street night market, the bazaar market, the Fleet Street, I think is the name of it, the proper name of it, but very, very cool, just outside of the mall. I had no idea that place was there actually until the bartenders at that bar, at that craft brewery place, or craft bar, said, oh, there's some street food there, you should go check it out, you know, for your video, it'd be cool. And so yeah, very, very cool place, playing a lot of nice music, a lot of international music you can listen to, jam with your friends, have food, have a good time. But hopefully it won't be as windy as it was for me, because man, everyone's stuff was blowing around. I had a good time just watching people lose their dishes. Obviously not such a good experience for them to lose their food, but it was funny to see people like lose a bunch of rice go flying on the ground, and I think the cats are loving it. The cats are there to pick up all the food, that's why they're there. But yeah, a total excellent experience here in the Philippines so far. You know, today's the first day, today's the revival day back to the Philippines. So I think it is now time, since I am walking back to my Airbnb now, it is time to tell you what happened on my first trip here in the Philippines, because maybe some of you have seen the old video I had it up for a while, but I also took it down, I think. Yeah, why did I come to the Philippines the first time? What happened? What went bad? What went good? Alright guys, well, I'm using my iPhone as a light source right now because I'm on top of the building here. The building's about, I don't know, 5 stories high, so you get a nice view of the city. I can see the skyline from a few different angles here, and there's no lighting, of course, so it's very dark, and without the light it looks like crap. So I got some light here to help out, but I want to say about my experience during my first travel here to the Philippines. So in 2018 I came to the Philippines on a volunteer program trip. Actually, the volunteer program was in the island of Palawan, so the big long island to the western side of the main region of the Philippines. And I came to Manila for a few days before that, so I wanted to get accustomed to the time zone, the change, and like try to fight the jet lag, right? And I came here, I brought my skateboard, I skated around Manila, met local people, had a very, very good time for like 2 days. And then like the second day in or something, I broke my foot during my time here in the Philippines. So when I went to the hospital here, they told me, oh, it was a fracture, but it was better to have a cast on it. And I ended up going to that island to volunteer where I was supposed to go. And for one day I was hobbling around the beach because it was on a beach. It was a village. And a very, very beautiful place, but it just wasn't possible to walk around with a broken foot. So at that time, I said, maybe it's better that I cancel this volunteer trip, go back home. I had travel insurance at the time, which covered like all my flights. It covered all the costs. I pretty much got refunded like 75% of everything I spent, which was great. And the company that I did the volunteer program through was called, what was it called? IVHQ or something. It's a very, very well-known volunteer group, and they basically said to me, it's no problem, we understand things happen, you have 1 year, you can come back and volunteer again anytime for free. You just pay for your flights back here and everything is fine. So basically that's what I did. I said, okay, sure, and I booked a flight back to the US. I went back to the US and I recovered from this foot injury, but I never got around to actually getting back to the Philippines because at that time I was finishing my undergraduate degree and I just didn't have the time to come back, unfortunately. And so my experience in the Philippines was very short. I was supposed to be here for 3 weeks originally, but I think I ended up being here for like 4, 5, or 6 days. I don't even remember how long it was. It was 5 years ago, and a lot of it is a blur because of breaking my foot. I was in such a miserable mood after that I felt like the world was destroying me. But truth be told, it was an excellent experience. I learned a lot during that trip. It was actually the second country I had ever visited outside of the US, believe it or not. So it was a humbling experience, and I met a lot of local people. They were very friendly, and I always knew one day I would return to the Philippines. And here we are, back in the Philippines. So I will be here for 2 weeks now, and at least 2 weeks, I think. And going to explore mostly Manila area. Maybe I can get around to some other places, but I'm not going to do a whole lot of exploring because the last 3 weeks of my travel have just been nonstop go, go, go. And I need a break. I need to chill out. I need to take it easy, do some editing, do some work. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to chill out, take it easy, and visit some places here in Manila and show you what life is like in the Philippines, show you the locals and everything like that, like I did tonight a little bit. Tonight's story kind of started off not so great, right? But it ended, I think, on a good note. So the Philippines is a wonderful place. Everyone knows that, and if you've never been to the Philippines, it should be on your list because there's so much to do here, and like they say, it's even more fun in the Philippines. Alright guys, well that's going to be it for this spontaneous video that I made here in Manila today on my first day. I'm actually going to go back into the apartment now, maybe do a little bit of editing, but I'm probably going to go to sleep in a few hours because I'm pretty much feeling pretty beat. I need to catch up on sleep to keep these adventures going. But yeah, 2 weeks. I hope to get out some videos during this time. If you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I love chatting with you guys, but that's it. From the first day here in the Philippines, it's a good one. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.